D-A-day, D-E-D, D-I-dicky-di, D-O-do, dicky-di-do, D-U-do, dicky-di-do-do. F-A-F-A, F-B-B, F-I-Ficky-Fi, F-O-Fo, Ficky-Fi-Fo, F-U-Foo, Ficky-Fi-Fo-Foo. G-A-J, G-E-G, G-I-Jicky-Ji, G-O-Jo, Jicky-Ji-Jo, G-U-Ju, Jicky-Ji-Jo-Ju, la-da-da-da.
In this video, we will learn about the ablative and accusative of time. Latin has very simple ways to indicate when and how long an action takes place. English is far more complicated. When we're learning English, we have to learn a whole bunch of different expressions of different varieties to tell when something happens. For instance, we say at noon, but in February, and on Monday. All of those are random words that have to be memorized. Latin is far more simple. All expressions of time that tell when something is going to happen or how long it's going to happen can be formed the same way.
Now let's talk about the ablative of time. We met the ablative of time first in Latin 1. The ablative of time has two uses. First off, it indicates when an action occurs. If you want to tell when an action occurs, all you have to do is put a time expression in the ablative, and you're done. Here are some examples. Hoc tempore, at this time. Illa hora, at that hour. Decimo anno, in the 10th year. However, the ablative of time can also indicate within what period of time an action occurs. Here are two examples. Tribus diebus, within 3 days, and decem annis, within 10 years. Now this may seem confusing. It may seem confusing that the ablative of time has two interpretations. But in fact, in actual practice, the context will always indicate which of these uses of the ablative of time is occurring in a given passage.
Now, the ablative of time we have already met. We're now going to face the accusative of time, which is discussed in the grammar for 3A of your textbook. The accusative of time tells how long an action occurs. In English, we often express that with the preposition for. For instance, septem annos means 7 years, as in, he lived in Paris 7 years, or he lived in Paris for 7 years. We're not telling when he lived in Paris, we're telling how long he lived in Paris. Okay? Another example, multas horas, many hours. I might say, I slept many hours, or I slept for many hours. Again, we're not telling when I slept many hours, we're merely telling that the action lasted for many hours. Those expressions are put in the accusative. So when you want to say how long an action is occurring, you can simply put the expression of time in the accusative. Sometimes the Latin accusative of time occurs with the preposition per. For instance, per septem annos. That means exactly the same as septem annos, or per multas horas. That means exactly the same as multas horas. It doesn't matter which of these two expressions you use. Here are the facts to know for the mini quiz. The ablative of time tells when or within what time an action occurs. The accusative of time tells how long that action went on.
The end. This has been a Barking Blue Heeler production.
D-A-day, D-E-D, D-I-dicky-di, D-O-do, dicky-di-do, D-U-do, dicky-di-do-do. F-A-F-A, F-B-B, F-I-Ficky-Fi, F-O-Fo, Ficky-Fi-Fo, F-U-Foo, Ficky-Fi-Fo-Foo. G-A-J, G-E-G, G-I-Jicky-Ji, G G-O, Joe, Jicky, Jai, Joe, G-U, Jew, Jicky, Jai, Joe, Jew.